Our journey 2 years ago, starting in multimedia, particularly with social media, the explosion. Let's talk about it. Stay tuned.
Okay, guys, good morning. People thought we were absolutely bonkers 2 years ago. We thought we were somewhat crazy 2 years ago. And thank you, Mark. I'm looking over at the camera.
I must be up there.
Yeah.
Oh, I've swapped it this morning.
Oh, see, look at this. Mark is teaching me how to look at a camera. He's pointing to the wrong side. Now I feel like I'm cross-eyed. All right, we're all good. We're all good. Guys, people did think we were crazy 2 years ago. We decided to launch out onto our multimedia / digital / social media journey. And, we thought we'd just give it a crack. We built the world's most impressive real estate office with our 6-metre antipasto bar and beautiful chandelier and a real hub to nurture human interaction. And then as a business, we decided that we were going to launch out onto social media. And we're going to share with you what our journey has looked like over the last 2 years. It's been quite the journey, hasn't it?
It's been incredible.
It's been really quite the journey.
It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of very, very rewarding, like hugely rewarding. It's been new. For me, being a real estate agent for 28 years, it's been probably the most prolific change I've had in my career in multimedia. It's just been, there's just been so much. And it's been
so much
all out of a little phone.
Yeah. And guess what, guys? It really hasn't cost us any money. Now, when I say, if we amortize out our time, now that's a different story, because personally I spend 3 to 5 hours a day on my social media. Yep, that's uploading, that is collecting inquiries, I answer all those inquiries, and I do all my social media myself. I don't outsource any of it.
Lisa's phone's like a poker machine.
Yeah.
It goes ding, 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 ding. It's inquiry, appraisal,
yes.
It's incredible.
It is, absolutely. It is. And, but we've built it to be like that, or I've built it to be like that. The journey in 2 years has been phenomenal. We're going to fast track this. We're not going to walk you through step by step 2 years. But what I do want to do is, for me personally, I want to point out to you guys how powerful this multimedia journey has been for us as a business, for the community, for the people, the most important thing for the people. And in terms of me as an agent myself, it's been absolutely phenomenal. For any agents that are watching, you guys will know we train a lot. We give a lot of our secret herbs and spices away. I've personally just come back from the Gold Coast a couple of weeks ago, where I was asked to speak at the one of the world's largest real estate conferences. I stood on a very big stage in front of 3,000 real estate agents and literally bared all and gave away all my secret herbs and spices with all of our social media secrets. But the first 6 months of the journey was quite incredible because we were learning, right?
Heaps.
We were learning.
I just want to say good morning to Sean, you legend. Michelle, how are you?
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
And part of today, I think everyone can benefit. Buyers and sellers can benefit out of what we're just about to talk about. Agents can benefit out of it. A lot of people can do. I always look at, whenever I see something educational, I always look for the nugget, and the nugget is never like a paragraph. It's always just one little thing that I go, yep, I'm going to try that and adapt that. An easy thing to do. So hopefully you'll find something today that you can adapt to your life, whether you're a buyer or a seller or an agent or whoever, about this multimedia journey.
Yeah, but let's look. Initially, Mark, when we first started collectively as a business, we decided that we were going to launch out onto these social media platforms, and we were just going to take it next level.
Yep.
And we were like, yeah, let's do it. This is such a good idea. What do? Where do we start? Oh, okay. Let's start by doing some video content.
I think Tom Panos was
Huge.
a huge thing in the beginning of our journey, because we were watching this guy and we thought, we're watching his content. Like, we can produce multimedia video like him. He's different because he's a real estate trainer. We don't want to be in that space, but we're looking at how he was using this multimedia as a tool and saying, hang on a second, we can do that for our local. We can do that for buyers, for sellers, for Northern Beaches, and put Northern Beaches on the map.
Yeah.
Because people can't find that information anywhere. And what I loved about what we did was, or what we're doing is, aside from ringing Mark or walking into the office and sitting opposite Mark for half an hour, how does your community or your tribe get that information?
Well, and by that,
it's hard.
But by information, guys, let's break that down. By information, we mean that, you know, most mornings Michael Bergio and Mark will do these morning minutes, and you know, they're giving away 15 minutes of little golden nuggets about what's going on in real estate and property.
Real time,
bite-sized chunks of information. Where can you find that?
Yeah.
For me as an agent, I was like, well, hang on a sec. You've got the major real estate portals, realestate.com and Domain, but what if people don't want to look on those or they can't afford them? Where do they go? And I was like, well, social media to me is the natural channel for that, because it's something that I can offer my vendors for free, and I get to offer the buyers, my followers, many of my followers, the opportunity to see and buy property first. But I think we're getting a little bit off track here, Mark. Let's talk about how the journey started for us.
Yeah, I remember right back at the beginning, Tom Panos, real estate trainer, used social media a lot. I remember he turned around and said to me when he was walking out the door of the office, he said, Mark, you are now a media company and a real estate agency. And I was like, yeah. And he said, furthermore, in 2021, Facebook will be a video-only portal. He said that they would just be doing videos. And I was like, and he walked out, and I'm thinking about it. I thought, wow, because if we looked at trying to get that video content loaded up onto realestate.com or loaded up onto domain.com.au, we couldn't. So our buyers still can't.
FYI, you still can't.
So our buyers and sellers were like, if you look at realestate.com domain, the way data is consumed on there and the type of data that's consumed on there effectively hasn't changed for about 15 years, maybe 12 years. They've got, maybe 8 static photos, just a photo, beautiful photos. They've got a floor plan, beautiful floor plan. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we loved it that we could actually do something more dynamic.
Well, I think we call it, so it's called individualization. We very quickly realized in the beginning of our journey, guys, that we could just be us, that Novak could just do what they wanted to do. And then I know Mark's nudging me, only because I just nudged him before.
Yeah, so if I talk a lot, Lisa nudges me with her leg. And then she did that because I was talking about realestate.com.
Because he's just waffling.
And then I just nudged her back. So she's laughing.
So, but the reality is social media allowed us to just be ourselves and have that individualization. We didn't have to listen to, realestate.com saying, no, you can't do this. Domain saying, no, you can't do this. We could do what we want, how we want it. Now,
and Facebook was just saying, do what you want.
Correct. Yeah. And Instagram, and for the most part, LinkedIn. LinkedIn was a tricky one in the beginning.
They even got more flexible, because remember, you used to be able, if you put text over photos on social media, they said
no, you weren't allowed text.
They
would pull it down.
They would pull it down. So they got looser, easier, not tighter.
Correct. I forgot about that. But the truth is that we started to do tons of this video content, and people were divided. There were half the people, particularly in the industry, saying, God, like, what are they doing? This is not professional, and we just simply don't video this way. And then there were the other half of the people that really started to become our tribe and, built up our following. So 6 months in, Mark, I remember getting a coffee in Neutral Bay. For those of you guys that don't know, our office is in the Northern Beaches of Sydney. And I was getting
This has been over 2 years ago.
Yeah, we would have been 6 months in, I reckon. And I was getting a coffee in Neutral Bay, and this young girl came up to me and said, "Excuse me, are you Lisa Novak?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, "Oh my God, I actually follow you on Instagram." And I was like, "You do?" "Really?" She said, "Can we get a photo together?" And I was like, "You really?" "Okay, sure." Anyway, that's kind of where it all started to unveil, because I was like, there's not that many followers on here, but people are starting to stop me in the street. This became a regular occurrence. And I was like, okay, this is becoming a real thing now. The people are starting to vote.
And what was amazing is no one ever stopped me in the street.
That's not true. That's not true. He's just looking for a little bit of sympathy.
It is because something that we very quickly realised was everything was so measured on, for instance, social media. If you weren't getting the comments or you weren't getting the likes, it broke your heart.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we were trying to measure our work by that. Having said that, we were getting results. So we're going, that's fine. But then everyone was saying, look, how many people follow you? Or everyone was saying how many likes or how many comments or how many views. When we threw that out of the window, that's when it really went a next level, because we're like, nah, this is the right thing to do.
I think here's a really good message for a lot of you guys, and I can see beautiful Rosie Sullivan on here. If you guys don't follow Rosie Sullivan, you need to be. Rosie's from the Australian College of Professionals.
Weapon.
The best trainers in terms of getting licenses and certificates of registrations, guys. They're the people to go to. Forget about going anywhere else and anywhere cheaper. These are the absolute guns of education in our industry. So thank you, Rosie. I appreciate your comment. We've got the lovely Jonathan Creek. Jonathan, listen, first it was Melbourne, now it's Sydney. We're going to get this together. Jonathan, speaking of social media, Jonathan's actually going to be coming into our office over the next few weeks when we get out of this crazy space. And he's going to be training us on video content. Jonathan's worked as a producer for TV for many years. Cannot wait for Jonathan to come in. And also, can I just say a massive shout out to Jonathan? Before I went to ARIC, petrified to speak in front of 3,000 people, Jonathan gave me some of the best tips ever that I used, and all my nerves went away. So a massive shout out to Jonathan as well. But, look, I think we very quickly realised that what the results were not going on in our head with social media, that it was becoming a real thing. So 6 months in, all of a sudden we got the seal of approval. Don't you reckon? The people were starting to vote, and not with follows and likes and comments. Please take this on board, guys, because that's fake news.
I reckon that was our biggest lesson.
It was.
I reckon that was our biggest turn.
Agreed.
Because I think that, and guys, if you just tuned in, we're talking about our change in our business in multimedia, where we sort of, I guess we've always been a little bit unorthodox, but how that's actually changed. But
yeah,
I reckon that was, you see, but I'm it's probably pretty obvious. I've got no problems with confidence. Like I've just always been able to do stupid stuff and not care, or do like I just as
that.
Yeah. And at least you've always been confident. But even for people like us, like I still found it really challenging. Do you know what I mean? To actually put a video in your face and talk and make mistakes and stuff like that. But when all that fell away or got dusted away, or as we started doing more and more, that was an amazing place.
But can I just make a very, very, very big point here? The people voted. The people continue to vote. So I did an interview the other day with Andy Reid, phenomenal, awesome guy, also gets out some great content.
Wow.
If you guys haven't watched that interview, I reckon it's one of the best interviews I've ever done, as in it was the most raw and uncensored interview I've ever done. It's there on our social media channels.
It was very psychologically, that was very grounding,
there's some really important messages there, really important messages on mental health and not caring so much about what other people think. And that is one of the biggest things, because if you listen to the noise, had we have listened to the noise all those years back, we would not have been able to change as many lives as what we have.
Yeah.
And, and again, I can confidently say this now, because we're, 2 years in with our multimedia journey. Not only have I personally listed and sold close to 200 properties right off the back of my social media, and helped so many people. But we also continue to give the information that we've learned out to our community, including our real estate community, and don't want anything back in return. Because we had hit so many brick walls, Mark, in the first 6 months of our journey, where we were like, how do we do this? And how do we do that? And, you know, had we have had the training that we're giving to people, we would have fast-tracked this within a month.
But I think that, you know how we said, the biggest lesson out of today for everyone is don't worry about the likes, don't worry about the comments, don't worry about the views. Just do what you think's right. Should be fine. We'll just keep going. So that's really, really important to just keep that going.
Yeah.
But the most important thing that kept me going day by day was the conversations I was having on a daily basis, just to continue those conversations.
Yeah.
So I was bringing those conversations from the boardroom or from my desk or from my mobile phone to social media. And that was educating people and helping people, because the one thing every time I could hear in the office, everyone was talking about COVID and our tenant's going to pay rent. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about on digital tomorrow.
Correct. Where else can you get the information?
Yeah.
Where else can you get this information?
Yep.
So, you know, I guess if there's a lesson in this for you guys that are watching, it is, number one, social media 100% works. Number two, you must be consistent. So consistency for us, being experienced with this now, really is about 3 to 5 hours a day of social media content, blasting it out, answering inquiries, video content. For you guys that are starting out, it needs to be 15 minutes a day. Yeah. 15 minutes a day every single day.
Don't feel bad about it, because I felt, definitely in the beginning, I felt guilty that I was, because like I couldn't measure dollars against multimedia. I was feeling a bit torn, because I was like, I should be doing 10 buyer calls at that time. But it's like, hang on a sec, if I do that 15-minute video, that's going to go out to 100 people, or 1,000 people, 10,000 people over time. So don't feel bad about that, guys. It's you know, follow your north, and make sure it's relevant to people. Make sure you're helping people all the time with the content that's going out. And a great tip is just mentally record what is the most asked question in that day.
Correct.
And blurt that out.
So a lot of questions that people ask, and again, you know, I do train a lot of real estate agents in the industry for free. I don't take any money I'm not a trainer. I just like to help people. You know, a lot of people will ask, Lisa, what do I talk about? And I'm always saying to them, well, when you meet a friend for a coffee or a drink, do you run out of content to talk about, or does it just flow?
Well said.
So just say whatever feels comfortable to you. It doesn't always have to be about a property, what you know, you're listing or selling. Look what's going on in Sydney at the moment. There's COVID everywhere. So tell the people, give the people the information in little bite-sized chunks. It's really hard to find. Last night I was actually looking up for the weekend, Mark, about our open homes and auctions, thinking what are the regulations, what can and we can't do. It was so hard to find the information. So we might just finish off with covering what we are and aren't allowed to do for the weekend currently at this stage.
Well, let's wrap it up, because we're at over the 15-minute mark.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching. But as a conclusion of what we're saying today, I think there's consistency in multimedia, and on our journey was what we learned. We had to be consistent. I was always pretty good with that. You were always pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Self-doubt, you know, watching those views, those comments, those likes, or them not being there. That really messes with your head. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And always keep it in the front of your mind that you're helping people. How do I help people? Right. And those conversations we're having during the day, those everyday conversations, just ramp them out on digital.
Yeah.
And you know, you do have to, part of managing social media is managing your own mind. So it's a very you've really got to.
Can I just add to that as well, Jonathan? Guys, for those of you that don't follow Jonathan Creek, 100%, I recommend that as well. Jonathan saying relevant knowledge of the day. Look at what's going on in the news, guys, and just report that in your own words.
Yeah.
And also, the most important thing is be yourself.
Yeah.
Be your authentic self.
Yeah.
So I will literally go into listing presentations and, you know, people will say, I feel like I know you already because they've followed my social media journey. They've seen the results and, you know, but I'm me when I walk in there. So be your authentic self. That seems to be the hardest thing for people to do because they are worried about what other people are going to think of them.
Yeah.
And that's a topic for a whole different day.
It sounds weird that you say be yourself or be authentic.
People do struggle to be that.
Really and people do.
And they do struggle to be that. And I never understood it. I was like, what do you mean? Just be yourself. But people do struggle to be that because they're worried when they take the mask off that people are going to judge them and that they're not going to like what they see. I've got so much to talk about on this topic, but
let's wrap up
that's for another day.
Social media. Now let's talk about that. Sorry, not social media, of COVID.
Okay, so currently, as we stand,
open
today
houses are continuing for tomorrow.
Yes, this is right now, guys, at 8:07. Today on Friday morning. We don't know what the news will report today.
4 meters squared around us.
Yep.
So push people away from you.
Mask up, mask up, mask up.
Mask
we
up.
Won't be allowing anyone into open homes without masks and without registering on the QR code.
Register on the QR code.
Yep.
Spray yourself.
Don't touch anything in the property.
Don't touch anything in the property.
Yep.
Please don't touch anything in the property because that's the most common thing where people are opening, closing a wardrobe or a door. So if we can refrain from that.
If we all just behave, we should be able to come through this hopefully nice and easily. And on that note, I'm not much of a one for politics, but I think our Premier is doing an awesome job. So massive shout out to Gladys. I reckon she's for the people and I rate that. I think she's doing a great job.
People love Gladys.
Sorry to you Victorians, but we definitely have a great Premier. Yeah, she can do no wrong.
No.
She can do no wrong.
Even she did that thing and wow.
And people loved her for it. She's
Yeah.
real. She's human.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
guys.
that's it.
I think that's it. That's a wrap.
That is
See ya.
a wrap.
Have a good day. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Hope we've helped.
See you guys.